Hey guys, this is Rachel with Cypress Textiles, and today we're going to be making the Rowan tree square from the 2018 reboot of the Vibrant Vintage Crochet Along, or the VVCAL. We're going to make a slip knot and chain 3. All right, 1, 2, 3, and slip stitch in the third chain from the hook to make a ring. And in our ring, we're going to make 16 double crochet. So I'm going to start with a beginning double crochet by making a single and a chain. And that's going to be our beginning double crochet, beginning DC. So now I'm just going to make 15 more double crochet in my ring, and then I'll be ready to join for round 1. So total, including our beginning DC, we have 16 DC all together for round 1, and we're going to join with a slip stitch in our beginning DC, and make sure your slip stitch lays loosely over the top of your beginning DC so that it looks just like the rest of the stitches. And in the next stitch, not the joining stitch but the next stitch, we're going to work a beginning DC again with a single crochet and a chain 1, and then we're going to chain 1 again. And that's part of our repeat is the chain 1 and then double crochet into the next stitch. And that's our repeat. So all the way around, we're just going to chain 1, double crochet into the next stitch. Okay, so I'm back at the beginning now. I've got a chain 1 on my hook, and I'm going to find the top chain of the beginning DC and go ahead and make a slip stitch into it to join. All right, so now I've got my chain space there, and I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch into that chain space. Okay, so now I'm ready to work into my next DC. And in that DC, I'm gonna just make 4 double crochets. So the first one's gonna be a beginning double crochet. So I'm gonna make my single and my chain, and then 3 more double crochets in there. 1, 2, and 3. And then next, I'm going to make a chain, right? And then in my next double crochet, I'm going to make a 4DC popcorn. So I'll do my 4 double crochet like I just did, but then I'm going to make a popcorn out of them. All right, so I'm going to release the loop and insert my hook front to back through the first DC of that little 4DC thing there, and then replace the loop, grab the loop, pull it through to the front, and now I've closed my popcorn. So I'll just go ahead and chain 1, and then in my next DC, this is actually our repeat. We're going to do 4 DCs, but we're not going to make a popcorn out of it. We're just going to leave it as 4 DC. 4. All right, and that's a repeat. We're going to have a chain 1, a popcorn in the next DC, chain 1, 4 DC in the next DC. Okay, so now our round is done, and we're just going to go from making our popcorn and our chain 1 to joining. So instead of joining into this beginning DC with a slip stitch, I'm just going to jump straight into making a single crochet into it. So find your top chain of your beginning DC, and instead of making a slip stitch, just make a single crochet, a single and a chain. And now over these remaining 3 double crochets, I'm going to make a DC 3 together. So I'm going to yarn over. This is kind of like a cluster, but it's spread over multiple stitches to make a decrease. All right, pull up my loop and draw yarn through 2 loops on the hook, leaving 1 stitch behind. Now in the next stitch, do the same thing, yarn over, pull up a loop, draw the yarn through 2 stitches on the 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, draw the yarn through 2 loops on the hook, and I've got 4 loops on my hook here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw the yarn through all 4. Okay, and that's how I'm going to make sort of a petal right here. Then I'm just going to chain 3 And now in these two chain stitches, I have a chain stitch before my popcorn and a chain stitch after my popcorn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make like a single crochet decrease, like single crochet two together in these chain stitches. So let me explain what I mean. I'm just going to insert my hook front to back and pull up a loop, and then I'm just going to do the same thing in my next chain space. Insert the hook front to back and pull up a loop. All right, so now I've got 3 loops on the hook, and I'm going to draw the yarn through all 3 loops. Okay, and that's what we're going to have whenever we're done there. It's like a decrease with just a single crochet. Okay, so let me chain 3. And then over these next 4 double crochets, what we're going to do is DC 4 together. So yarn over, pull up a loop, draw the yarn through 2 loops on the hook, and repeat that 3 more times so that I'm covering all 4 of my doubles here. Okay, and now I've got 5 loops on the hook because this was a full DC 4 together. And so I've got my leading loop at the beginning there. So I'm going to draw the yarn through all 5 loops and then chain 3. Okay, and now I'm going to show you again the single crochet 2 together in these chains so that you can see what I'm doing. So don't yarn over, just insert the hook straight in, pull up a loop, same thing in the next chain space, pull up a loop. You got 3 loops on your hook, so you can draw the yarn through all 3. All right, so that's going to be our repeat. Okay, so I'm at the beginning of my round now, and I've got 3 chains on my hook, and I'm ready to join into this decrease. So how I join into a decrease is pretty much the same as how I join into a cluster. So I'm just going to insert the hook through all of the loops, the top loops that make up the decrease. I can get this last one. And then I'm going to slip stitch and bring it through all of them. And that way my slip stitch lays flush along with the top loops and it kind of blends in. And I'm ready to work into my chain space here. So what I will be doing is slip stitching into the first chain. So just open up that chain and get in there with your slip stitch. Make sure you let your slip stitch lie flush along the top of the chain so there's no puckering. Then I'm going to just single crochet and chain 3, and then single crochet in my next chain space, chain 3, and that's going to be our repeat all the way around. Okay, so I've gone ahead and joined this chain space round here with a slip stitch in the first single crochet. So what I'm going to do is work into this chain space with 4 DC. So I'm going to make my first one a beginning double with a single crochet, chain 1 for my beginning DC, and now we're going to work 3 more DC into that chain space. Okay, and then we'll make 3 singles in our next chain space, 4 doubles, okay, and then we're going to make our corner, which is made of 3 trebles, 3 chains, and 3 trebles. Okay, and that's our repeat. 4 double crochet, 3 single crochet, 4 double crochet, and our corner, which is 3 trebles, 3 chains, and 3 trebles. Okay, my round is finished, and I've gone ahead and joined into that first beginning DC with a slip stitch. So all that's left to do now is just make our single crochet round. So I'm just going to make, starting with the stitch that's after the joining stitch, I'm just going to start making single crochet in all the stitches around. And what I'm going to do in my corners is put 5 singles. Okay, so here's my square. I've gone ahead and joined the final round with a slip stitch in the first single crochet. And let me just go ahead and break my yarn, and then I'm ready to weave my tail. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to front through the stitch to the left of the joining stitch, through both loops. Take my tail to the back of the work. All right, and now in the stitch to the right of the joining stitch, I'm going to go back to front through back loop only and grab my tail and bring it to the back. And that's what I'm going to do in all of the rest of the stitches, however many stitches I need to bury my yarn tail. All right, and our square is done. This is the Rowan tree square. This has been one of my favorite squares so far, so I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Happy crafting!